right now on Denver7 News at 10. Flames on both sides as wildfires inch closer. Estes Park declares an emergency.
It's the national park. Rocky Mountain National Park is burning, and that's so sad.
Fleeing the flames with seconds to spare. One man managed to escape the deadly wildfires when the only road out was blocked.
And tonight, evacuees anxious about fire and ice.
We don't know the fate of our property for sure. Nobody has been allowed back in that area.
As the storm moves in, evacuated homeowners worry freezing temperatures could damage unprotected homes, while fire crews see steady snowfall as a chance to finally get ahead of the flames.
Good evening. Welcome to Denver7 News at 10. I'm Jason Grenauer.
And I'm Jacqueline Allen. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Firefighters shared these images today of crews tackling thick smoke and those intense flames. It's all in an effort to protect homes and try to keep Coloradans safe. Emergency managers say crews made good progress, and they're hoping a strong snowfall tonight will give firefighters a chance to gain the upper hand.
And this was an eerie sight in Estes Park today. Air Tracker 7 captured the historic Stanley Hotel through the orange glow and the haze. The hotel opened its doors to hundreds of firefighters battling those two enormous wildfires nearby.
Crews need really every advantage they can get right now as they tackle the two largest wildfires on record in our state's history. The Cameron Peak fire burned through more than 207,000 acres so far and is now 60% contained. The East Troublesome fire continues to grow, has now scorched more than 191,000 acres and is just 4% contained.
The scale of these fires huge, and the stories from survivors are heart-pounding.
Denver7's Lance Hernandez is live in Grand County tonight. Lance, some of those evacuees, they just got out in the nick of time.
Well, Jason, Jacqueline, imagine trying to outrun an approaching inferno. Some trees fall down in front of your truck, blocking its path. You've got a chainsaw, but it won't start. Well, that's the harrowing tale that Mike Dara shared with us, along with some amazing video when we return from a spot fire west of Granby. Choppers coming and going as aerial crews load up with water from the Colorado River to douse a spot fire that flared up west of Granby.
There were flames all around the neighborhood.
Mike Dara shot this dramatic video Wednesday as he was leaving his home in the Trail Creek Estates. He said the roar of the fire sounded like a freight train.
There was just swirling sparks. Across the street was already on fire. When I say on fire, it was from the ground all the way up 90-foot pine trees.
He'd only driven 80 yards when he had to stop. 3 sizable aspen trees had fallen over across the road, blown over by the rushing wind. He got a chainsaw out. He carries for just such an occasion.
And pulling, trying to prime it. It just, it would sputter, but it wouldn't get going.
Dara, getting anxious, was about ready to leave his truck and trailer behind and start running when a Forest Service employee showed up.
He hopped out, and between the two of us, we were able to muscle those 3 aspens, not off the road, but just sort of enough to the side that I could get around them.
Like other homeowners, he's stressing out, wondering if his cabin is still there.
We think we've lost it. We have seen some pictures that came from a friend who knew a firefighter, not of our home. Several of our neighbors have burned. We know that for sure. But we feel fortunate. You know, we had some notice.
Residents in the entire fire zone, whether they love winter or not, are hoping tomorrow's storm brings a lot of snow.
I hope so. More the better. They're calling for what, anywhere from 6 to 10 inches, 20 inches maybe.
Will it be enough?
How much snow will we actually get? And it's not like the snow is going to put it out.
Now, I'm on the west edge of Granby. This is the roadblock. Highway 40 is now open west from here, but Highway 34 north up to Grand Lake remains closed. The Grand County Sheriff says the fire's main impact is on the west side of Highway 34 in the Grand Lake area. Very few homes affected on the east side of that highway. Fire Command appreciating the snow that's on its way. They say it won't douse the fire, but it will dampen the remaining fuel that is there, keeping it less combustible. In Grand County, Lance Hernandez, Denver7.
Lance, thank you so much. And of course, the top question for most evacuees right now is, when can I go back home? With freezing temperatures and that snow moving in tonight, people are worrying about burst pipes and other problems if they don't get a chance to winterize their homes. The Grand County Sheriff, though, says for now, the focus needs to stay on firefighting.
That's our number one goal, is we need to continue working to protect those structures that haven't been lost, continue to protect those areas in there, and it's time intensive. It takes time for that to happen. It takes time for that to be secured, and really this weather hopefully is going to help us, but until that case, we can't make any decisions on reentry.
Huge parts of Grand County are still under evacuation orders tonight. In Larimer County, all of Estes Park is evacuated and Rocky Mountain National Park is closed. But there is a bit of a bright spot in the battle against the Cameron Peak fire. For the first time in 2 months, State Highway 14 is open between Fort Collins and Walden as crews beat back the flames.
And as evacuated families struggle to make ends meet, you are stepping up to help. So far, more than 400 people have donated to our Denver7 Gives Fund to help with wildfire relief, and you've raised more than $50,000. That money will go to United Way of Larimer County, Community Foundation of Boulder County, and the Grand County Wildfire Emergency Fund. You can still make a tax-deductible donation at any time. Head over to thedenverchannel.com, click on Denver7 Gives, and under the drop-down menu, just select Help Colorado Wildfire Victims.
Okay, so we've been talking so much about this incoming snow. Yes, that's snow in Wyoming, and yes, it is headed our way. Meteorologist Stacey Donaldson joins us now. Looks like a lot of us are going to be waking up to snow on the ground tomorrow, and a lot of us are actually going to be happy about that fact, Stace.
Definitely.
Absolutely. We've been waiting for this snow for quite a few days as this cold front has slowly but surely been making its way toward Colorado. So we have that snow starting to enter the state at this point. Wanted to show you radar very quickly so that you can see how the snow is making its way from Wyoming down into Colorado. And we will see much more widespread snow by the time we get into tomorrow. So this is just the very beginnings of this snow showing up. The winds are still very gusty off to our west, but the red flag warnings have been allowed to expire because we do have the snow moving in. So winter weather advisories for the eastern half of the state, winter storm warnings for the western half, and Denver's included in that winter storm warning for tomorrow. So it looks like we'll see significant snow not only in the high country, but here across the Front Range. Coming up, we're going to talk more about totals and a timeline in a bit.
All right, thanks, Stacey. And Colorado reported a sharp increase of more than 1,500 new coronavirus cases today. Our total number of cases rose by an additional 295 as state health staff began correcting an error that missed positive results this month. Currently, 599 hospital beds are in use by people infected with the coronavirus or suspected of having it. That number is rising, but it's still below the peak of nearly 1,300 that we saw back in April. One Colorado kid has his eyes firmly fixed on a national title, but his hair is freely flowing past his shoulders. How you can get involved to help this second grader achieve his goals.
I am so excited.